Hey, what's happening? The Rude Boy here, once again sounding off on another Spurs game. A hard one to take because we could have seen that coming from the first half. Um, there were things that were happening that once we went two up, if you watch the game the way I watch the game, which is to see what the fullbacks are doing and how we're getting what we were getting, right? And when a team gives you what you want, you take it. And we did, right? We took it, and we took it with both hands. And that is why we were up two, right? It's not like we were playing great, but we're doing the things that Spurs do and do well, which was attacking. The ball was going long, it was going behind the defender, and we keep pinning Brighton, who intended to play a high line. What happened with that, it gave us a little bit more space and room because the balls were going over the top. Romero hit a few over the top, and some other balls. I'm not sure exactly who else did that. And you see how it softens up the back line for Brighton. Now, what Brighton did, right, was they played the half out, and luckily they were down only two. But then when you look at what Spurs were doing, Mitoma was having a field day on the left side. And the other winger was having a field day. It simply means that your fullbacks weren't where they're supposed to be on the counter attack. What did they do? They came out, they adjusted the way they were playing, and there's no shame in that. So the people who are, when you win and you try to explain what's happening, that look, if your fullbacks are going to play so high and you escape being scored against, right? Good teams, right, or teams that are having a little more fortune, is not going to miss those chances. And if we continue to play like that, those are my words, then we are going to end up with at the other end of some of the results that we should have if other team finishes. Now, when you look at how Brighton adjusted, they pretty much went to a 4-4-2. What did we do? We put the ball down and we passed it 15 yards to Romero. Romero passed it to Van de Ven. Van de Ven passed it back to Romero, whatever else they were doing. That's what we were doing when we weren't playing well. That's what Spurs did coming out of the changing room, instead of going there and keep on running. When the ball is moving, the defense, doesn't matter what defense is it, if they're going to leave you open, right, Spurs will pick you apart, they will demolish you. But for some reason, we were up two, and about 10 minutes or so towards the end of the half, we start putting the ball down. Vicaria putting the ball down and spreading out Romero on one side and Van de Ven on the other side, and Porro here, and Udogi nowhere to be found. And we came out in the second half. All Brighton did was went to a 4-4-2 and start jamming the passes. And we played right into their hands. Brighton couldn't get out of their own way by the ball going over the top to make sure the defense get stretched. And Werner was having a field day, even though his finishing is still lacking. You see what the speed and how the team was set up to play. The thing I've spoken about, right? I've spoken about this, and I've spoken about this several times, right? If you're up one, two, three, doesn't matter what it is, right? You can't play the same way, right, with the kind of defense that we have. You have to see a blatant change when the opposition change to match what you want to do. We were up two, they made the changes, they brought people on, they went to a 4-4-2, and it was game, set, match. Now, am I going to sit here and blame the players? Of course not. Because if my manager is asking me to play that tactically, I can't come back and say, we lost our way. No, you didn't lose your way, right? You played right into their way of how they wanted to play in the second half. They are the ones chasing the game. Why are you chasing them? If Mitoma was having a field day, pull Johnson back, put Kulu inside so that he can come and help Porro, right? Pull Udogi back. right? Have the Madison cheat over, or Werner comes back and have Solanke playing off the last defender. We did none of that. And so that's the result that you get from poor management, from poor tactic, from just poor coaching period. I know whoever's going to watch is going to turn around and say, oh, but the players get us where we need to be. The manager makes a tactical move, and if it's not working, then it's time to change and do whatever else you need to do. And he did neither. We keep doing the same thing from day one, even though Brighton come on. And this is the most important thing I've got to say. The most important thing of anything that I'm saying. Brighton adjusted. Right? Brighton adjusted. What did we do? If you take nothing else from what I'm saying, remember this. Remember this. We're up two. And Brighton adjusted. Why did Brighton adjust it? Because they were having a field day going down their flank, going through their middle. All they did was just change their formation, right? Stock it, 4-4-2, and the game was over. That's management. That has nothing to do with the players. If you're going to ask your players to play through that, right, and you're going to determine that there is no game you can win without scoring 3 and 4 goals, and especially when you're up two, pull your defense back. Because the high line was being breached often, a couple of offsides. So it was coming. It was coming slowly. It was coming. And then it didn't take long in the second half for it to happen. So for those who wanted some apology when we were winning the game, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see how we react when we end up in situation where we need to actually defend. You can beat teams who think they can beat you and open themselves up to you. And that's what Brighton did. Brighton feel like they're at home. They can do just about what they need to. And any team, it doesn't matter if it's even Man United. There's no team in the league that can come, whether they're home or away, and play as open as Brighton is and expect to beat Spurs in like how they played in the first half. No team. That's how devastating the attack can be if we're playing and we're moving the ball. But what did we start do? We start put the ball down and bounce it 10 yards to Romero. And Romero sits on it, right? Werner keeps making the run, and nothing happening because Ramiro is sitting on it past it 5 yards. Now it's locked up and nothing can happen. We can't get through anymore, even though they play those at a higher line. So we weren't able to press up into their half because they brought the 4-4-2, but they still maintain their line. So if we were going to go over the top, you go early. And what was happening? The goalkeeper was being found in no man's land because they play so high that when you go over the top, the goalkeeper cannot come. And we don't see that, right? That's on Romero. That's on Ange. That's on Romero, and that's on Ange. You have to see that. Because you can't expect Madison to come so deep to make those passes. You go over the top and back them up some more. If they're playing 4-4-2 and they're trying to jam you at the half line, you go over their top. And we never did that in the second half one bit. So for those who want an apology, I want us to win, right? But what did I say before? We have to show improvement, that what we're doing is that there's a system in place to protect our back line, protect our wing, shut players down, not giving them so much access to breaking us apart, and we did neither. So I'm waiting to see where the improvement is. I'm waiting to see where the consistencies are. I'm don't want to say this because I'm upset. Yeah, you're upset about the loss, but you expected that at least you'd have done better in learning and see that, look, this is what gets under my skin, right? This is what really and truly gets under my skin, right? Is that the team adjusted. Brighton did not start the way they started. Brighton adjusted. What did we do? Remember that. Brighton adjusted. What did Ange did? Brighton adjusted. What did Spurs did? We continue to play the same way from the first whistle. And once Brighton jammed us, we have absolutely no idea what to do after that. That's not the players. That's coaching. That's not the players. That's management. And I'm waiting for people to make excuse about missing chance because we never missed no chance. We got looks, but we weren't missing any chances, right? And if you're not getting the looks, then you have to go now and create it. And if you can't create it, you have to now learn to defend what you have. And once you see Brand picking up that head of steam, get behind the ball. Even when they scored, get behind the ball. Get behind the ball, and then once you get behind the ball, they are going to come to you because they're the ones who are done. Why are we going to them? Why are we inviting the press in our own box? I don't get it. I don't get it. Vicario putting the ball down, playing it 5 yards to Van de Ven. That's not how we got up to 2. That's not how we're playing. So you break the momentum of everything. We look around and Kulusevski's on his 18-yard because he can't get the pass. Take the risk up front. Knock the ball over the top a few times. Let Warner go deep. I am. Anyway, this is just unbelievable. And the thing with it is that consistently, right? When I say let's look to see what we do, right? With how we play when we don't have the problem. When a team don't deliberately change their tactics, because the teams that we beat didn't change. We beat them. Man United didn't change. Man United play openly and we beat them. Right? That's the difference. Karabakh play the same way with 10 men and we beat them. The other team that we played, we beat them. Brentford didn't change and we beat them. Now, those are the 5 games that we won. And I said, let's see if it is something learned. And we are going to play now. And we're going to understand how do we defend? How do we defend our wings? How do we protect our fullbacks? Or whether our fullbacks help to protect the back line. And it is evident today that those were just win because on the day we were better than the other teams. There was nothing tactical in any of those wins because we came back today and the first time a team make adjustment across the board, went to a 4-4-2, we lost the game. Leading. If Brighton were playing like that from out the gate, would have probably lost 5-0. To be honest with you, because you can't go at a team that's not coming at you. And we invited them by putting the ball down in the box, passing it 5 yards to Rimmer. Rimmer walk with it to 10 yards. And all of a sudden, Werner not in the game, Johnson not in the game, Kula not in the game, Madison not in the game. But Romero and Van de Ven were having high percentage touches. It can't continue. It just can't continue like that. How in the world can you say that you're a good manager and you are leading and the team adjusts to you to stop you from scoring? They are known for pressing you. Then they press relentlessly and you put the ball down in your box. Somebody got to tell me because I'm getting a headache just thinking that the manager is so daft that he didn't tell Vicario to cut it out or Romero. Let's go long. Let's soften up again. We have the speed. We have the pace. We're getting behind them. Why would you stop doing that? It's too much. Way too much. Let me get off of here. It's bad. It's awful. Totally bad coaching, and we lose today because of bad coaching. Credit to Brighton, credit to their manager. They adjusted. Ange is just that's how we're doing it, mate. And that's what you get when you want to win only the way you want to play. That's it.